guys, thanks for checking out the video today. Remember, like and subscribe the page here. Make sure you hit that bell to make sure that you get updates when I do put them up, and visit me on Instagram at Wrench Rampage. So today we're going to be talking a little bit about the Evo 6 project that's coming up this winter. I'm going to be working on getting that car back on the road. It unfortunately blew up on the drag strip at the beginning of the season, so I need to do something with that car. So what I'll be working on, I have a parts car here that I need to drop the engine. So because I don't have time to build an engine right now, and I would like to get that Evo 6 running and driving again, my only choice is to rob this Evo 6 engine out of the parts car I have. Like I said on an earlier video, if you do watch me consistently here, this shell is not going to be cut up or anything like that. It's actually going to go to another Evo guy in town here who needs a good shell. His shell is pretty banged up and experiencing a little bit of rust issues, so he's going to take this shell and resurrect another car. So I'm not going to chop it up or anything heinous like that. So yeah, so today my plan is dropping this engine out of the car and taking a look at it, getting it ready to swap over to the other car. So because I don't want to put a rough looking engine in my Evo 6, I'm going to do a few cosmetic things, well, and necessary things, I would think. So we can tell by taking a close look at this valve cover gasket that it is leaking. So I have a nicer valve cover as well, an Evo 7 one that's pretty much mint, with the Evolution here instead of the 16 valve. So I'm going to be pulling this off, doing the valve cover gasket as well. I ordered all of the studs for the exhaust manifold, so I'll be doing that. Keep in mind that these bottom studs I'm going to be thread sealing because they go into the water jackets on the 4G63, so remember that across the bottom. Those have to be thread sealed. And other than that, as I go, I'm just going to be cleaning. I am somewhat thinking about painting the engine bay on the Evo 6 just to freshen it up, make it look really nice for dropping a fresh engine in. So I may do that on the channel as well. Show you guys some masking tricks I use to go around lines and things like that, rather than ripping everything out, which I'm not going to do. I'm just going to mask it really well, get most of the stuff pulled away from the firewall, and I'll paint the engine bay. So we'll see if I have enough time, which I probably will. I'm thinking I may do that, freshen it all up, getting it looking really nice so I can drop a new engine in. So today, let's get this engine removed. So we're going to be pulling the harness, leaving the transmission on, leaving the transfer case on, pulling the drive shaft, north-south bars coming out, air conditioning lines are coming off, power steering reservoir, and then I'm going to be dropping it out the bottom, which is my favorite and path of least resistance for this. So let's get on pulling the engine. Okay, so we're at the point where we're probably ready to drop the engine out of the bottom of the Evo 5 parts car here. So let's take a quick look at where we're at here. Okay, so north-south bars out, downpipes out. The AC was already discharged, it wasn't recharged, so I unhooked the AC pump, Power steering pump is unhooked as well. The lines that go into the cabin for the coolant pathways for the heater core, those have been popped off. Slave cylinder, all the wiring's been pulled to the side. Rad is out. All the intake side for the turbo, all the charge pipes. Fuel lines have been pulled aside. Remember the ground off the intake manifold? That's one that people forget all the time. The vacuum reference for the brakes, that has to be popped off as well. The assembly for the shift linkage, that has to be taken off the transmission. Yeah, so there's quite a few things that need to be removed. And then, so the method I like to use, dropping it out the bottom onto a cart, pulling the body up on a lift, and the engine just comes out the center here. So we'll work on that right now. Okay, so there you have it, guys. Key is to go slow because, you know what, you're likely to forget something. I forgot actually to unbolt the oil cooler, but because I was going slow, I didn't rip it off the car, so that was nice. So yeah, oil cooler still intact, car still intact, didn't tear any lines out. Okay, so that's how I do it in and out. I do go through the top occasionally, but this is the easier way to do it. I don't know what that took me, like maybe 20 minutes to do it, just going slow. So just take your time, be very careful, wear steel toe boots, follow safety protocol. Like I said before, many times, this is just me telling my story on the internet. Please don't take this stuff as gospel. This is all at your own risk, obviously. So, all right. So, next thing that I'm going to work on is organizing, cleaning up this engine, and then we're going to get into cleaning the engine and the block, getting it ready to go in the Evo 6. Okay, so the Evo 5 is dismantled. Like I had said earlier, this isn't something that I'm cutting up and disposing of. The chassis is a good chassis. I ended up selling it to a buddy of mine so that he could fix an Evo 6 that he has. And so the Evo 5 chassis was put on rollers and pushed outside. Now I got to get the Evo 6 roller into the shop so that I can start on that. So let's take a look at that Evo 5 chassis. Well, it's winter here, so here it is, outside on rollers. This will be going to a good home. Now I'm gonna have to get the Evo 6 into the shop here. Hey, what's up guys? So I have the Evo 6 in the shop here. So here it is. And the engine that's going to go in it that I pulled from the 5 parts car. So now, having had this engine out a bunch of times, and as well, I mean, I feel like I'm replacing engines in Evos all the time, in and out, which is fine. I don't really mind it. But part of my thought for this car is that I would really like to clean up the engine bay, probably paint some of the white. So if you guys take a look here, I mean, this is new paint. This is kind of the old dingy stuff. And down where the battery is supposed to be, there's a little bit of corrosion. Nothing too serious. But having looked at the bay, I mean, the back firewall is covered with like a fire retardant padding, just the same that would be for hood pad. So really, all I'd be painting is through the strut towers, the strip across the top, back down here. Now there's a lot of stuff that has to be removed, and you really couldn't do this without the engine being out. So because I'm here and I have no real timeline, I mean, I'd like this car running for the spring, but right now it is mid-November. I've got lots of time. I have a heated shop. It's winter here in Canada. What else am I going to be doing with my time, realistically? So what's going to happen here, I'm going to pull the wheel well plastics, front fenders, front bumper, all the lights, the intercooler, just pull everything off the front, and I'm going to paint sort of the front structure, including the bar that retains the radiator, so upper and lower rad support, the front frame, strut towers, all that stuff. Why not just paint it? It'll be nice and fresh. It'll give me a chance to go through the wiring loom again. I did some of it last year. And as well, I'm going to be reinstalling the air conditioning, because I'd like this car to be something that I can take my family out in the summer. So I need AC, especially with little kids. So I'm going to be working on that. So if you guys take a look at what I'm starting with here, nothing rusty. I mean, there's a little bit of surface rust, which I'll knock off, but overall it's not that bad. The lower rad support's got a little bit of staining. That's going to be very easy to get rid of. Then further to that, I'm going to be painting the inside of the hood, putting on a new hood pad, which if you watch some of my parts videos, I got in from Japan, 4 or 5 of them, so I have them, so why not? And this is just going to freshen up the bay. I have the time, the engine's out. Why the heck not? So that's what I'm going to be starting with, and I'll be giving you guys some updates as I go here. Step 1 is going to be just pulling all the wiring into the center and moving a lot of the reservoirs, the lines for the power steering rack, all that stuff. I got to sort of push into the middle. I'm not going to remove lines. I'm just going to rearrange them so that I can effectively mask everything. And then on top of that, I can get in there with a detail gun, like a smaller spray gun. So that won't be an issue. So we're going to get on that. And hopefully getting this thing looking fresh for the spring. So let's see how that goes. We'll keep you updated here. All right, guys, thanks for checking out the first installment of the Evo 6 series here on my YouTube page. Make sure if you have time to subscribe to the page. Make sure you hit that bell to get updates on when I put up new videos. As well, check me out on my Instagram at Wrench Rampage. So stay tuned for more Evo 6 content in the next coming weeks here. Have a good night.